Wise Food Podcast. I'm King D.
And it's your boy DK. It's your boy DM.
Yeah. Are you sure we still set on that name, though? Calipo is a little bit.
Let's keep the DS.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Well, I thought we were moving on.
Yeah,
we are. Yeah, because you don't want me to say the other one.
We are.
Stop being so disruptive. I thank you all so much for joining us once again and giving us the courage to even start season 2 and put it on YouTube. Season 1 was a great success, and people have been saying that they want to see what we look like, and so this is what we look like. This one person said, "I sound like a light skin."
Oh no!
And I don't know if that's a compliment or I've been thinking about it.
What do you think?
Okay. It's okay.
He just said no comment.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying that. I don't think anyone said that, but thank you all so much.
You want to look like a light skin?
I would like to continue the show. Once again, thank you all so much for supporting us and then helping us grow. If we would like this movement of ours to reach other people, so please tell a friend to tell a friend. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your loved ones and friends, so that we can be able to grow. We have a lot of good positive messages in this podcast, and we want it to reach as many people as we can. So thank you all so much once again for doing this for us.
Yeah, like Kendi said, we appreciate the feedback that we received from season 1.
Yeah,
we hope we're going to continue to improve and get better, reach more people, and that's why we are upgrading to do video, as part of the process and us getting better. So we appreciate all the feedback, and we will appreciate you guys to support us throughout the season 2, so we continue to get better as well.
Amen.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here, man. That's why we're here with Calipo, or AKA DM. I think we will let the comments. We will let our fans decide which name suits you best, Calipo or DM. So how was your weekend? How was this past weekend for you?
It was a beautiful one. I watched one of my friends get engaged. So those of you who don't know, people who are not familiar, in Ghana we have 2 weddings.
Mm-hmm.
So basically there's a traditional wedding, which some people call it engagement, but it's actually the traditional wedding. And I watched one of my friends, get married. It was very emotional, quite frankly, because I don't think anybody saw it. Like that. We were gonna talk about this today. It was just quite well. I was just standing there like, wow, we were young and now
here we are, man.
Yeah, here we are. We're growing.
Like, where did the time go, man?
We're growing. It was a great one. It was a great experience.
Oh yeah.
Just watching her. Yeah, and then he's very close to home too.
Oh man, why? Why does it feel close to home?
No, because we've been close. We're close. So just seeing her,
get married and stuff.
It was like, wow.
You teared up.
Not anybody. Nobody caught it.
Nobody caught, but you did though.
But I did. Like,
just that manly tear.
A little bit inside,
Yeah.
Does it feel like it's almost your time?
This guy.
Well,
Oh, you're talking to him.
Yeah, I was asking you.
Yeah, how about you? Is your time?
You feel like it's your time?
Oh no, not yet. But that pressure is there, definitely. Pressure is there.
We'll get into it.
We'll try not to. I mean, like you were saying, like the person was talking about us getting married. I mean, we all know her, and I was also myself was in the wedding. I was a groomsman for another friend's wedding.
Yeah,
you doing a lot of those.
Yeah. I did one last year, and I'm doing one this year.
You're gonna be charging,
and
might as well, man.
And next year too. So
man,
I think, like I said, that pressure is there. but I know I'm not ready for that yet. But at the right time, my turn. But yeah, my weekend was great. That wedding was beautiful. It was amazing to be in there to support them through the union. It was fun, very very fun, one of the best weddings I've seen.
Oh yeah,
and I'm excited for what Saturday is going to look like because they did, like you were saying, they did their traditional wedding on Saturday, and then they're going to do the wedding, the actual wedding, this coming Saturday.
True.
And so yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it.
I'm very happy for both of you, man.
But it's a great weekend.
You know, I was at that wedding that DK was, and like I noticed something amongst the groomsmen, right?
Tell me.
Okay.
Tell me.
Alright, so like every one of them looked like they had warmth under their chin. Except for our boy over here, man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not true.
What you mean?
That's not true.
What you mean?
That's not true. I can pull up the picture right now.
I can pull up the
Wait.
I was about to say, I shaved mine, man. I wanted mine to.
You know what?
I wanted mine to feel as smooth as a baby.
The ladies told me that they like it when it's like that. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure the imaginary ones.
So do you do it for the ladies?
He does it for the ladies. He's always been doing it for
Look
the
at
ladies.
these pictures.
Yeah, it's only you with the other chick. The beard.
He doesn't have where's his
connect.
No, it don't. He only has a
It's
goatee. He only has a goatee.
It's okay.
Yeah, but how was your weekend?
I just wanted to laugh at this guy. Oh no! Once again, big shout out to all the happy couples that got married.
Yeah, shout out to
I wish you all a very happy lifelong marriage.
Yeah, shout out to Obia and
We should maybe say their names though. I don't think we should say the spouses' names.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I didn't say it.
Yeah. Let's just say Kwame and Obia. Yeah. So like I said, it was a great weekend for me too, man. I saw some old friends of mine. And like I said, I got to laugh at him, which was great.
And I just know who my next groomsman that I'm going to be. I know who he's going to be for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
I said the next time I'm going to be groomsman. I know who he's
I thought next time that you are choosing a groomsman.
No. I said I know.
No. We come into your wedding next.
So you have the money?
But money is not the problem.
It is the problem. Alright, let's get into today's show. We've done all the things we needed to do. Yeah. Alright, so today we're talking about men's health. This gender has like one of the highest suicide rates amongst all, and there are issues that men have that is often overlooked. And these kinds of things always lead to depression and then later on suicide. It is important that we address this. And also, it's not even always about like depression or suicide. Sometimes it also creates a generation of very hateful men. And you might be thinking, oh, they are born that way. But that's not the case. They are
very angry.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that they feel like people are overlooking, and they have to voice out their anger so that people will be able to see and notice them. So today's podcast is all about addressing all those things and be able to shedding some light on those things so that you will be able to be aware of these issues. So what was the first question, Ian?
So it's like so the first question is that what does it mean to be a man?
What does it mean to be a man?
What does it mean to be a man?
Alright, do you want to go first, bro?
Okay.
I would say the things that does not mean to be a man to me. I'll say the opposite. I'll go the opposite. But that's not. I mean, to me, a man is not someone who feels the need to always take charge just because he wants to be the one in charge, just because he wants the respect of everyone. You know what I mean? A man does not go out of his way to find issues or problems just because he wants to feel like he's needed. Right. To me, a man does not believe that he deserves to have everyone respect when he has not done anything to earn it. A man is not someone who is not responsible. That's what it means to me. I have these values. I gain these values from my dad, who's very responsible. He doesn't go out there looking for problems. He doesn't feel the need to always be in charge. As long as the job gets done, he doesn't care. He wants to make sure the job gets done. And that's who a man is to me, and I've been seeing that these values decrease over time. Everyone wants to feel like they are that guy or that man, and so because of that, they always do the things that attract attention onto them that they don't really necessarily need. So that's what it means to me.
For me personally, I think a man is someone who protects, someone who's fighting for your family, someone who is the leader for your family, and but that doesn't mean that that person doesn't have like other weaknesses. It doesn't mean like he doesn't have any faults or he's a perfect man, right? Like he comes with all these weaknesses and he comes with all these faults, and all of those come together to make him. All of those come together to make him
Right.
a man.
Exactly.
And so he's someone who's supposed to protect his family,
That's right.
be the breadwinner for his family, make sure everything is okay at home.
Mhm.
But like I said again, it doesn't mean that he doesn't come with faults.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
I mean, just to suggest a little away from the question, but
Yeah.
you guys, I don't know, have you ever heard of, especially growing up like from Ghana,
Mhm.
have you ever heard of something happening and they use the phrase Nipandro, which is like saying that
People should come.
human beings should come or people
Yeah.
should come.
Yeah.
And it's not because there are people there,
Yeah.
but it's just because like they're looking for a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They're looking for a man.
Yeah.
So I think for me, being a man was that kind of idea that the person that kind of steps up to assume the responsibility of things going on.
Oh, right.
So it was more like a problem solver than the head, you know.
Right.
Like I'm pretty sure the hand knows that, oh, I mean, like, don't touch or whatever.
Yeah.
But the head is always probably like ahead, you know,
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
No
Pun intended. Nah, I'm sorry. When he said that, he started to say that thing.
But you know, but always trying to just like take the responsibility,
Yeah.
you know, and then lead. For me, it's like leading, but you know, leadership comes in different ways,
Yeah.
styles, and
Yeah.
everything. So for me, a man is just like that, the problem solver, the head, that is assuming responsibility
Mhm.
and you know, taking charge of it,
Yeah.
right? Doing something good about it,
Yeah.
and also leading.
What do y'all think happened to those values? You know, like what do y'all think caused all these values to start decreasing? Like now, like we're talking about being the head, being a problem solver. You know, what do y'all think happened for these values to just slowly decrease? Or unless y'all don't think it's even decreasing? Because from my point of view, I feel like it is.
What makes you think it's decreasing?
I've been watching a lot of seeing a lot of things that people have been saying. Well, okay, and I would say that based on the community that I live in, you know, that I don't see those values anymore. Whenever there's an issue that comes in, I see more people blaming than people trying to find solutions. You know, there are more people who are, you know, they're not solution oriented than as they should be. And most of the time, it's not even like the other gender that's complaining about the problems. It's mostly that the men are.
So what you're saying is men, and you're thinking men are not taking more responsibility of being the leader of.
Yeah, it's like they're shifting that responsibility onto other people.
For me personally, I would say it probably goes down to like the way the way men are being raised nowadays.
Elaborate on that, man.
Because I feel like in most situations, like nowadays, most people are spoon fed, right? Like I'm not saying that your parents shouldn't like provide for you, or your parents shouldn't like be there to help you out in certain things.
Yeah.
But then sometimes most people, like especially when your parents are well to do, they're able to like
So many
situations. I mean, like you had even said that saying before, where they were saying something about a rich man raises.
Oh,
I forgot the saying.
It says that strong men create easy times. Easy times create.
Yeah. So I
weak
feel
men.
like maybe like you were saying, like you learned that from your parents and stuff like that. Sometimes our parents, they were able to stand up for themselves and be men and take those roles.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't get the chance to take that role because everything is being done for us.
Right.
Because we haven't been able to like take absolute control and be like, okay, this is my decision that I want to make. This is what I want to do. Especially when it goes to homes where there's like single moms, when there are no dads in the house and stuff like that. And their kids are being raised, or boys are being raised by their moms.
Yeah.
We all know moms tend to love their sons a little bit more than their daughters. So like, it kind of handicaps the man in a way, and that kind of affects some men. I'm not gonna say all men because I personally don't think most men have lost, or like you were saying, those values. But I think the men that don't have those values, that's usually what happens because of the way they were raised, and they usually don't have a male figure in their house that they can look up to that was taking those responsibilities. And yeah, they didn't have.
So single mothers are problems.
I didn't say that.
I mean, that's what it was.
That's not what he was saying.
I use that as an example.
I'm messing with you,
Personally, like, my mom has done most of the raising when it comes to us.
Right.
And I wouldn't think that has impacted me personally, unless I'm being biased because it's me.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't think that has been biased. I've been exposed to so many other men, and I've watched so many other men from afar. And even my dad, he has still been in my life, even though my mom is the one doing most of the raising.
Yeah.
I still learn from my dad. I talk to my dad almost every week, and he's always telling me about things. Like, are you taking care of them? Even though that be putting pressure on me sometimes, but like, it's still like gives me that responsibility of trying to make sure like my mom is okay, my siblings are okay. So I wouldn't just say it's just single moms.
Okay, I'm messing with you, brother.
But I actually don't think the value is lost.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I didn't say lost. I'm saying
like it's going down. I don't think so. But what I think is that there are a lot of issues with men that hasn't been addressed. And so there is fatigue setting in, right?
Yeah.
And so like and then again too, let's be frank, there are a lot of women who also think men are being too man. They want to like step up and like wait, calm down. So with all these going on, it just looks like men are not being what they're supposed to be. Because you see, one thing that I think masculinity is not dominance. It's not dominance over like I need to rule over you kind of thing, but I think it's more of leadership, an exemplary life. So all these things going on just makes it look like the values is being lost. But I just think that a lot of issues is going on with men because there is a thing that I personally said to somebody one time that when a person is always called to enter the fire and save somebody out of the fire, you may be okay the first time, you can run in the second time, but as it keeps going, then maybe they're starting to get some burns that needs to be addressed. But if nobody is addressing them, it gets to a point where they're fast, how fast they're able to go in and do that, that work. It decreases, so they can't do it anymore, and then now we think he's not wanting to do it, but it's just the issues hasn't been addressed yet.
I remember that's this saying that I conjured up. I was thinking that as a man, they say that as a man, everyone expects you to know what's up, even when your head feels way too heavy to look up.
That's right.
I remember that.
Like everyone expects you to know the plan. Everyone expects you to know what's going on in their life, and that no one really necessarily addresses the man like, "Yo, brother, are you okay? Like, talk to me about these issues." And it's, I often get some responses from female friends of mine. They say that like, their guys don't want to open up, and I looked into it to see, and I found out that like whenever a guy opens up, there's certain image that you would like to portray. That I'm okay, I'm strong, I'm soft, I can protect you. But if I open up on these things now, it's gonna make me break down and tear up and stuff, and then that image will crumble. Then I do not know if you see me that same manner. But sometimes also go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off, but I feel like that's one of the problems that we have as men. Right?
Absolutely.
I feel like it should be okay to cry.
No, but like sometimes it's the people around you. No, it's the people. Like I'm very sure some people do to cry. But the people who respond to the cry. It's like I know some women who will be laughing.
But we shouldn't let that affect us.
Unfortunately, it
Listen
does.
to this. Have you ever thought about how growing up as a guy, there were some activities that they would push you to do, and then when a girl tries it, they're like, "No, this is what." Yeah, it's like they use the phrase "mema," bro. Like you can't try this, you can't try. But think about it. So growing up, when you fall, you're like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. You are
Yeah,
born.
but man up.
So
Lemons,
think
yeah.
about it. For probably 18 years of your life,
That's what
you've been shamed to think that don't ever cry because
Right.
like you're a man. When it's hitting you hard, you just take it as a man and then suffer for the team kind of thing. But so with that long years of that training, and then now you just expect me to
just
come
let
out
that
and
go
like
and then open
cry.
up. Yeah.
So some men, it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It's not that as straightforward as oh, I wanna just cry. Some too, I genuinely believe that the judgment that they feel
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how I would feel seeing my dad cry.
Right. Same.
Have you ever thought about that?
Same. I have thought about that.
I haven't seen him cry.
Same.
Even when the only time probably when my grandma passed, was his mom passed.
Right.
But then like I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not. I actually would want men to, but I don't even know how I'm gonna feel. I'm just thinking about like.
Yeah.
Is he crying?
Yeah.
Is he crying? Do I just feel like
this tough dude who brings me up in a tough manner crying?
Yeah, because like for me that's like when I say somebody has to be strong, I'm looking at him.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be strong for me.
Yeah.
You have to be like if I'm gonna be strong, like you have to be strong.
And that is the reason why they don't like open up because like it's the worry that you would think that they are weak. And so that's why some dudes don't like to open up about it. And I use myself as an example. I like all those men don't cry, women, so all of it. I put that in my head. Well, not from like it was the external voices, and so I use that, and then I've compounded. I mean, adding the videos of seeing how the movies where the guy doesn't cry, the tough soldier, and all those kinds of things. Those are the things that you want to be. So you emulate the characters of those movies, all those people, and then you get into you find a companion, and this companion expects you to forget all of that training that you had, and then just break down right then and there. At that point, you don't want to, and so it comes with patience, and it comes with a long years of trying to break down that wall. If that person chooses.
Okay, so are you saying that we should eventually try to break down that wall?
We should eventually try to heal.
Yeah, but I feel like honestly, I feel like we need to. I feel like as men, we all need to come up, like change our mindset, where we have to be strong. We don't have to show emotions. Like I feel like we need to, but we need to find people that we can trust to do that too.
And that's
we need to find a circle where you can be like, all right, this is someone that I can trust, where I can break down to, and I'm not gonna feel judged.
Yeah.
Right? Because if we don't do that and we keep on holding our emotions in, we're gonna explode at some point.
Yeah.
We're gonna explode.
We do.
And it's only gonna affect the people around you.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it's affecting the people that you love.
Yeah.
So if you're a woman listening to this, give the men around you the space and give them the
patience,
the safe space,
the
safe space to be able to express their emotions to you,
and not having a change of opinion or how
exactly
they are.
Because if a man has to be strong to be the leader of the family, and he doesn't have anywhere to
really
break down or anywhere to an exhaust pipe to let out his fumes, and he keeps all those fumes inside him, it's only gonna hurt him himself.
This is saying that it's a silent lake that drowns a man.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like
it just kills you inside.
It kills you inside. Yeah. Because you want to quiet, and then it gets you.
CBC has a from my family like statistics that they found out that even like let me say drugs, all these drinking associated with anxiety, depression, is now probably seen as masculinity. Like it's seen as he's a man.
That's what he's
you're a man.
supposed to
You can drink more. But then that's not what it's supposed to be.
The funny thing is they're using that to actually depress their emotions.
Yeah, because like again, there is nothing to for men to exhaust. Yeah, I'm not saying go and exhaust your emotions or like you. Hey, but the safe space for a man to come out and say, hey, I'm this. I'm sad.
And I don't want you to change your opinion.
And I don't want you to change your opinion about me. it's tough.
It's tough.
Especially when you don't control the opinions that others have about you. You can only voice down and then in your head you might be like, yeah, cool, but then
but you weak as you
like, my man be crying all right. Yeah. That's it. I
exposing things that people have.
I'm done. I'm done. I remember so well back in school. In Ghana, we teach a lot. We teach you, but it was
not a good place.
It was not a good thing to tease the woman. In class, the woman, the girls,
those are the ones who can dish.
They were the ones that
always dish.
And then they're like, wait, but you okay?
You're a guy. You can say
the same way how I'm not saying nobody should ever raise their hand against anybody. And I said a woman, ever. But like in the same way how a woman would like hit a man and then be like, but I just tagged him and you know, but it's because you're seen as the person that could handle more, you know, like you a man and you know, but I think that essentially what's very important is for us to define what the leadership, what it means to be strong, what it means to be the head, and what these things are. It doesn't mean that we can't cry. Actually, the eyes are on here, and when the hand feels the pain, it's the eyes that cry.
Right.
So hey, the head is the one
that's crying.
That's crying.
Right.
So it's okay. Like let's give that space for men to be able to bring those out and understand as women that you don't have to be like all rigid to lead. You can relax and lead. You can relax and be the head. You can relax and do what you do without you having to offer dominance over nobody. That is very, very.
In conclusion, find somebody you can trust and break down. So you can be
before we move on, I was thinking about this something. What's that talking about that? Right? This just came. I was like, so where did that idea come from? That a man is not supposed to cry. A man is not supposed to.
It's war. If you really, I think about it. If we are to be really honest, we recently just got into a civilization that war is not something that you and I have to live through. Of course, there are certain Asians that have children who are doing that, but where we are right now, we sit comfortably, and we would now be able to say that we are not supposed to do all those things. But some people who are facing war right now, that's not even the topic of conversation on their top list. You see what I mean? So when you're raising a soldier, you don't want your soldier to have emotions. Because then he's gonna be thinking about the enemy. It's like if I kill him, like what's the time? You don't want that. You want a soldier who's just an instrument. You point in the direction you want him to shoot, and he goes. That's interesting. And so when you raise someone in that, if you have someone like that, and that person comes back home, and you don't give attention that they need, so that they can debrief themselves, they can really break down whatever years of training that you put into their mentality that you are a killing machine and that's who you are. Bring them to a society where now they're raising kids. They're not fighting the enemy. Now they're raising kids. So it's like now they're treating everything as if it's a war zone. In their head, if they don't raise their kids tougher, the war zone out there is going to mess them up. So of course, they're going to put in all these tough things on their children. Like, hey, don't cry, don't show emotion, or don't trust, don't do all these things that will make you be a better person. And then this child is also going to grow up with the same mentality. Pass it on and then they'll go and make movies about it. You see Rambo. You remember Rambo? Yeah. You all these soldier people, and then you know kids. We're looking at it. Kids learn more from their TV, see if their parents are even talking to them. So now you get that mentality, that okay, for me to be a tough, good looking and all that, for me to get the girls and all of that, I have to be that guy who's the logos, solo logo guy, no kind of thing. And then be able to move through the streets, and then that way, no one will be able to mess with me. So that's what I think it's from.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Because for me, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like if you're looking at from the Bible perspective, right? Yeah. There's no way in the Bible where it's kind of pretty much saying that like a man shouldn't have emotions, or a man shouldn't be feeling.
It actually says that you should show affection to your woman.
Exactly. Yeah. Even most men that you're talking about in the Bible, it shows them that they were afraid, they were fearful, they were this, they
had all those emotions.
Emotions in the Bible. Yeah. Most men, you see, David was crying and praying to God all the time.
Absolutely.
Like most people, Most men in the Bible were so emotional and stuff. So
Jesus cried.
Even Jesus
cried.
Jesus wept.
He wept.
So
he wept.
So yeah, like,
did the lights go down?
it did. I don't know what happened. It felt like a sensor.
I thought it was the glasses, man. Yo, for a minute, I was another one. I said, dang, my eyes messed up. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so I feel like we need to, like we are all saying that. I brought up the Bible part so that we can also see from that perspective as well, that even in the Bible, the men in there that were even leaders and kings and all of that, they were all showing emotions. Moses was fearful.
Yeah.
Moses couldn't talk. Like he had that in him, but he was the one that led the Israelites out of Egypt.
Yeah.
Like, because a man is showing emotions doesn't mean he cannot lead.
Absolutely.
Because a man is crying about something doesn't mean he cannot lead. Because a man is sad doesn't mean he cannot lead.
Yeah.
So give men some space so they can express their emotions.
I mean, now you can say that because now you are not facing all those travesties, those crazy things, but someone who's facing it right now, that's definitely not the conversation you're going to be having. It's definitely not like you can't have that kind of feelings towards anybody. Just do your job and then save the family.
Yeah.
So, do you guys feel like, as a man, have you always felt, or have you ever felt like you need to prove your masculinity to people, or to really?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I would say I'll use my life as an example, and it was when I got into a relationship. That was my first relationship with one woman, and fate will have it that. Relax. One woman. Emphasis. Okay. I want to emphasize that it's just one woman.
Good job, bro.
Thank you. Although I still believe in polygamy, right? Wait, what? That's a conversation for another day.
Just keep going.
So, so then fate will have it that all the people who were really close to me would have multiple women, right? Or were dating multiple women at the time. And I remember all those times, like one of them was like, yo, like, what are you doing, man? You need to, go out there and get one woman. Because say that like one is closer to none. Because one is closer to none. And so that mentality, I remember like, and that used to ring in my head a lot, and it wasn't a good, because I was around my boys, all my boys had multiple women, and then I'm the only guy with that one woman, and I'm already here smiling and stuff, and they're like, and they're like, yo, like, dude, you need to go out there and do something, and so then the feeling of having to prove myself, was then brought onto my table, and so I remember that. I remember the feeling I had when I was approaching my first woman. My woman, Karen. Your woman. My woman, Karen. I remember the feeling that I had. Within that time, everything was in it. My body, spirit, soul, everything was operational in it. But when this friends of mine came and was like, and the opportunity came by my side. I remember that it was just my body that was in it. My mind was not there. My soul was like, some part of me knew that this is not who you are. So don't go do it. And so even though some part of me wanted to prove myself to it, the other part was like I was having a battle within myself. And so I wasn't able to really communicate with that very individual. You know what I mean? So it took some time for me to say, why do you want to prove yourself to a group of people who are not currently happy with who they're with? Like all these stories always end up with something bad. Like they don't have somebody praying for them. They don't have somebody who's cooking for them. They don't have, you know what I mean? So but I get to have that chance, and you want to ruin that chance because you want to ruin her, and then so now because you want to allow your ego to break someone down. And now she's just going to be like an island just watching you over the horizon. So here's what I'm saying. That I did that moment within the span of my relationship with her. It wasn't like a one-time thing and I got over it. It was multiple. And every single day, I had to work hard to get over it. Every single day, I had to work hard to remind myself who I'm with. Every single day, I had to remind. And always, I found it weird. It always came around the time when something would happen between me and her, and I'll be mad at her for something. And then the opportunity comes around that time. Yo!
Yo, Derek, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I don't even know this lady just said she pisses me off. So, and yeah, so I'm someone that, someone's working really hard.
That like your hard.
Someone's working really hard.
All the time.
So, I mean, I told a very long story, my bad, but I wanted to express that because I'm very sure that there are a lot of people who think that I have one woman and that's not good. I have to get multiple. So I can prove myself.
That's not what masculinity is.
No, that is
that's
far from it. That's actually the opposite of masculinity.
Have you ever had that where you felt like you need to prove yourself to like a group of people or your surroundings, or you seek validation for like being a man?
Honestly, I don't think personally, I always I seek validation, right? But not like for you to see me as a man, but then just for you to validate me as skills. Just acknowledge me as that's Daniel, and this is what he's doing, and this is what he's about.
Right.
Like that's all. Like that's what I ask for. But I don't really think about it as a man, if that makes sense. Like I just think about it as like who I am personally and how I can impact your life, or how like my role in your life per se in that moment, but not necessarily as like a man, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But have you felt like you need to prove yourself as a man to anybody?
I said honestly, like the only place I would say that I really feel like I need to prove myself as a man would be like at home. Like at home, that's when I have to, especially like now because my dad is not here, and we've been here for like what almost 10 years, over 10 years now.
Yeah.
And it's just us and my mom. And I'm the oldest son. I'm the firstborn. Yeah, I can always, like I said earlier, my dad would call and be like, how's your mom?
Yeah.
How's your dad? How's your brother? How's your sister? And like my mom gives me any complaint, she's gonna call me and ask me about it. Like, so like it starts from there, and then that's when like I start feeling like, okay, like I actually have to be the man, like, even though I'm the, and it's tough because I have to be a man and also have to be a son at the same time.
Oh my God.
I think that makes sense.
I know what you mean, the eldest child, bro.
Your father
the child of the eldest son, man.
I have to do both roles at the same time. So honestly, I'll say like that's when I really feel that pressure of like trying to be the man and at the same time also trying to be mellow as well. Because if I say I'm going to be a father, then like my siblings are not going to have a brother. Like they're not going to have a brother that they can talk to, or they can play around or laugh with, But so I have to be able to like manage and try to figure out.
You are an uncle. Yeah, you are. You're the person they can come to, but you're also the authority figure in the house.
Exactly.
An uncle.
So that's it for me. Like that's when I feel like okay, like I have to actually stand up. And like if maybe my brother's doing something wrong, call him out, or my sister's doing something wrong, or even if my mom is doing something wrong, that I can like say something, point it out or something. Yeah. So like that's the place I'll say like I feel the most pressure when it comes to like being a man.
Sure. I think for me it hasn't been like to prove myself, but I've always felt like I need to be accountable to the people that are around me, especially
you have to be accountable.
Yeah, especially for my siblings, younger ones, because I have two older brothers, younger ones, and also in most positions that I've been in church, I've done a lot of pastor work, youth work. I'm always like, I need to keep that standard. Right? It's never really been as a man. It's just been like as a person in general, in that position. And I also have like a personal commitment that I want to set a solid example for the younger generations coming to follow. So that has always been like a big pressure behind me. Like, hey, check yourself. I think for me, I think it's actually good. Because it keeps me in check. Like I don't think like you saying that your dad is not around or there. So I think these are things that teaches us how to be a leader. Like, it's good to be a leader, but a leader who has gone through things, I feel like has more experience.
Absolutely.
And knows more and knows how to handle things better
than the leader is not born, it's made.
Yeah, so if you're going through all that and all those situations and all these things and you're able to pick up the right sticks with you, when it comes to building your home or building, other things, it just becomes easy work for you as a man. And I think one thing that I want to also put out there is that a lot of men don't want to be accountable to anybody. They don't want to be accountable to anybody. They don't want to be have anybody check their work.
You just want to.
I don't say check them. I mean check their work. So like what I mean is that if you go to school and then you get a grade, it's not that the person's gonna beat you or anything or has any say. But they just want to take their report and see, oh yeah, you had a 9, you had an 8, you had an E. A lot of men don't want that because they just want the freedom to do whatever they want. And I think that's something that also needs to be addressed about men.
So what is wrong with me just being free and just doing what I want to do whenever I want to? Like,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but then if you're not keeping one of the things about accountability that is that it helps you assume responsibility. Nowadays, let's be real, if I'm going to be honest, you barely get men, like especially married men, like men who are good fathers and good husbands. You don't see that a lot. Probably good husband, terrible father, good father, terrible husband, or the what I call the most common, terrible at both. I'm not father, I'm cheating, I'm doing all that. Like, I think that I think that's what's even making other people rebel. Like, one thing I've realized is that when the man neglects, when the leader neglects his responsibilities, the people know them suffer.
And they will decide to accept the guy and take charge.
And when people suffer, that's right. Because like, we suffering and you're not doing that now. We need to do something because we find you useless.
Absolutely.
Which is wrong perception to ever give. So men, I feel like no, I need to be free and do whatever I want, all that. But and then expect that hey, when something is wrong, you can be there for me. Right? It doesn't work that way. You can't expect to be a stranger, all your life, and then come back and be a friend one day. It doesn't work that way. You have to show up, show up all the time. You have that, like, be able to have somebody check your work. Like, hey, even if you may not be being accountable to your woman or all that, but you can be accountable to maybe another person that can keep you in check. I think these are things that keeps us in line. Be able to stay there. Because you don't have that, a lot of people are just going through whatever they want, and then you tell them, and their response like, "Hey, I'm the man," more like I'm the boss.
I can do whatever
I can do whatever I want.
I don't need to respond to you. But one thing I want to add to that is that, like, just as human beings, we all need that. We all need some guidance. We all need some rules and regulations. We need something above our head. Because to keep us in check, because it's so easy for us to get in and over our heads and to feel like we are the boss and we can do whatever.
Especially when you're a young adult.
Exactly. And you can make so many silly mistakes, and then it's gonna, like you said, it's gonna affect the people under you. Like, you're supposed to be the head, you're supposed to be the breadwinner, you're supposed to do all these things. But if you don't have anyone checking you,
it doesn't even have to be the people under you. It has to be you yourself. Along the line, it's gonna hit you.
Exactly. And one thing is, like, the best people to check you is actually the people that are underneath you. Like your wife, your daughters, your sons, like those people that are right in your circle. Those people, they know you more and they know you better than anybody else outside. So those people can call you out on more things. So like we need to be, like as men, we need to be open to criticism from all the people around us. And when those people call us out on things, like, we should be open-minded to like listen to them, and if there's anything that we can change, we definitely work on it to change.
Right. I mean, I've been called out as if that I'm a troublemaker.
That's facts.
That's not true. That's not true.
Hey, I'm just gonna look down.
No, first of all, let me
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
Okay. Hey, y'all, look at this.
Glenn.
Can I let? I'm not saying I might not be a troublemaker. A little bit. No. I can admit. I do like controversy.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, you do like?
I like controversy.
You hate it. You hate
it.
I do manufacture.
What you mean?
No. I like. Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, let me learn. I am not a big believer of just going with the flow with everything. I believe that something can always be better. I believe that something can always be looked a different way. But here's what I'm saying. Before you start looking at me in a different way, okay, listen. Here's where my woman thought I was a troublemaker. We all saw something to be wrong, and everyone was just keeping quiet watching. And I had an issue with it because everyone seems to be acting as if that this thing is non-existent. It's like we all know there's a crap in the room. Everyone smells it, and everyone's just keeping quiet about the smell. And I was like, oh.
You know what funny thing? We always start with the oh.
I was like, oh, now.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
This is a crap.
And I won't sit in here while inhaling that smell. And so then all of a sudden, you're trouble. Like, that's the issue that I actually that's a conversation for another day with Africans, for example. We also want to come across as if you're peaceful. Silence does not equal peace. Right? You could be suffering, and you need somebody to be able to stand up and speak up. And then, but we'll get to another. But so when she told me that, I'm starting to look at certain things. I'm starting to see when I should speak up and when I should just keep quiet. And I'm doing my best in that area. These days, I keep quiet. I just laugh and I move on. Yeah. I don't say nothing anymore until it really hits me home. That's when I speak up. But I hate that because I know it's gonna come hit me one day. Why don't I just preemptive strike? Next question, buddy.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to ask that. How has the mentality of the man, how has this shaped you so far? Whether positively or negatively, how has it shaped you so far? You want to go first?
I can take this one. The mentality of the man, obviously, like I said before, the previous question, I don't know. Personally, I don't think of things like, I don't know if you guys do, but do any of you think of things like, oh, as a man, I'm not supposed to do something?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, because me personally, I don't think like that. I don't think like, okay, as a man, I need to do this or I need to do this. But I just feel like, I just think of things like my responsibility. Yeah. Like my responsibility here, my responsibility there. And I have felt like the most amount of pressure this past 2-3 months. Yeah. It's been crazy. Like when we're talking about mental fatigue,
mental fatigue.
It's crazy. Like from church, from just my personal life, from work, from everywhere, family, like everything. Like someone is pouring here, this person needs it, this person is, you're doing this, and it's just like, wow. Like I lost a check on Sunday. I'm like, how can I lose? It's a $500 check. And I lost.
So it came from so you're gonna have to reimburse them, right?
No, I'm not.
Jesus doesn't play with his money. God does not play with his money according to these pastors.
But I just have to go on the check and give me a new one. But then to me, I just feel like that all of that is happening due to just being fatigued mentally and just being fatigued from all the pressures coming from different areas. And I'm like, you know what? This week I need to calm down and give myself a break with a lot of things, right? And even this week that I'm saying I'm trying to give myself a break with a lot of things, all of a sudden there's things coming up that I want to do. Yeah. And I'm just like
the chord and all that. Yeah.
The chord is not even part of it, but then I was like,
good to know.
It's just like every day there's something else. Every time it's a program that you have to plan for church, then mom needs you to do this, then sis needs you to do this, then I'm not complaining that it's bad, but I'm just saying that all of those things, it has an impact on you as a man. Yeah. And most of it is because I'm a man. I have all those responsibilities because I'm the firstborn son, and I'm a youth leader at church, and I'm
Yeah.
the shift leader
Yeah.
at work,
Yeah.
and I'm this and this. So all those positions comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of things that people are expecting you to do things, and all those things has an impact on you. So sometimes that really puts pressure on me and makes me feel like I need a break. Like I need to like cool down and just find like 2 3 days to sleep and not do anything. But yeah, that's how I see the pressures of being a man. Like
That's crazy, man.
really gets to me.
I understand that for 100%, but me, it works in the opposite way. I mean, like, I think I like pressure. Okay, let me define it. Just a certain amount. Because like the mentality of like man, like especially when I'm going through something, right? Like when I'm doing certain things now, I like to just close everything out and focus on the job at hand. No matter how bad my emotions are. But I know with this sound may sound bad, but like I actually thrive on those kinds of things. So I'm able to focus on the job because I just ignore all sorts of things outside of it, and I see myself performing much better when these things happen. You may say that's not good, but this is a system that works to me from someone who's been told that you should not cry, you should not cry. Like this is why this is how low I can bring it, where I acknowledge that there's some feelings that I've made me hurt right now, but I'm gonna ignore it and then focus on the task at hand. And when that job is done, then maybe I'll attend to it. And so
I really wish I could do that.
I think that I don't think I have felt like these pressures and these things have affected me positively. But one thing I can say is that I think it's just life. As I'm growing, it's just a mindset shift that kind of came with time. That it was more like, you need to assume, like you need to be responsible now, because like I can't afford to mess up. I always feel like I can't afford to mess up. I can't afford to, like I have people looking up to me. I have families trying to depend on me. I have like friends. I have like.
And the position that you take, also puts you at a different level.
My position is
you can't mess up.
It's like people think I started early at VCU. It became a point where even when like I think it's a good thing, honestly. I think it kept me in check.
But do you think that a certain expectation was set so high for you?
There was times that one of the things I don't like is that, especially me being somebody that has been in the church leadership, is that when you're a leader, it seems like you can't mess up. Like you're invincible. You are all wise and all what's right. I think it's okay to give grace to some leaders. I'm not saying that give grace to them to not be responsible. But then like give grace when some leaders are not meeting expectations. But as a leader, you need to do your best to meet every expectation that you personally have set for yourself. Because the first person that you lie to is always yourself.
Absolutely.
So you set that example, that standard for yourself, and then one thing too that I think that I do is like, just like you said, we seek validation. I see that like I don't let what others say influence me, but I want them to say it.
But you see, that's my issue. Actually, was something that I was thinking of, and I put in the question. Like, I don't think I want validation. Is something that I these days I'm trying to even reject. I don't want to see validation from people. I want to see validation from God. I think if I set my validation as God as my benchmark, it will always be constant because people change. And so that today they may accept you, but tomorrow they may reject you. And you always have something to say. So it's like, and it got to be. I'm sorry for cutting you, but it actually started affecting my artwork. And so I had to stop. Like normally, I draw and then people be like, "Yo, that's amazing, that's good. And then I was getting that big head, and I was like, okay, I want to keep on drawing so that they would say that's good. And then I was like, no, this is actually bad.
I feel you, because when that happens, when you draw something and then now people are not seeing that's good, you're like, I guess this is not good.
This is not good. Exactly. Exactly. And it gets.
Yeah, I've been there, especially being in the church. It was big. It was massive.
I remember one time. I think I told you about it, right? Like youth. I became youth leader like the beginning of the year or ending of last year. So when I started teaching the youth, I could tell that they were very, very lacking when it comes to like things like related to the church and stuff, or anything related to the Bible. They were very, very behind. So my goal was to like really get into that with them. Every time we come, we're gonna do some reading and stuff. And so we started reading. I forgot what we were reading. So we were reading a book, and then one day I had to go to a different church before I came to church. And then the week before that, I didn't go to church because I was in New York. And then when I finally came, when I was on my way to church, one of the kids texted me. She was like, "Hello, Daniel. We don't know if you're coming to church today, but we started reading blah 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 the part of the Bible that we were reading previous week. And so I don't know if you're coming to church today. We wish you came, blah blah blah." So that made me feel so good because I was like, wow, like these kids that they didn't want to meet, when we meet, they don't even want to pay attention, right, and stuff. Like today, I'm running late, and they said they already got together, and then they're reading the part that we were supposed to read. Exactly, that made me feel really good. So in that situation, like that validation, that was kind of a sort of a validation for me because it felt like the work that I was doing with them was kind of having an impact on them, right? So that made me feel really good, right? But then again, I can imagine if one of those kids go do something wrong or something bad happens, and I'll be like, "Eesh, so what have I been teaching these kids the whole time?" Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a give and take, and we just have to be like, it's about the validation. The validation is there and it's good, and it motivates us to keep on going. Because as human beings, we have to be honest. Like, we need that to keep on going. Like, if you're doing a work like this and you're not seeing any proof that it's working, it's very hard for you to keep on going. That's true. Right? So sometimes we need that to encourage us to keep on going, and then we just have to think about the negative side of things. The negative part is also going to come because you have to understand that, especially, you're not going to please everyone, and not everyone is going to be receptive of what you're doing. So you have to be able to take things with a grain of salt. And if there's a negative, you can see how you can improve it. And sometimes you cannot improve, you can't do anything to change it, and you just have to accept that part.
I think another word that I want to also add is feedback.
Facts.
Feedback, right? It's okay to welcome feedback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's okay to have that, whatsoever. I think one thing that I realized is that it's good for me, the person that I've taken as a challenge, to master myself, to not let all feedback, affect me. Right? Yeah, so it's like it's still a challenge.
I bet.
Especially tough.
I bet.
When the feedback that you don't expect comes from the people that you love. Family. Those close friends. It hits different. Like it hits different. And it just, I feel like it just drains you. It drains you. And sometimes even when you feel like you're doing the best and you can't achieve what you're trying to achieve, it just drains you. Like, for me, that's why a lot of men are more like depressed.
Exactly. Because there's high expectations.
And things that are trying to meet them. And when we're not doing that, it's just,
you see that failures.
It just breaks. And I know there was a story that I came across, and this man was talking about how he has always been the provider, like providing for the family, providing. He lost everything.
Damn.
And the wife was not even using against him.
Right.
Nothing. But it's just the fact that
he
I've always been giving, like I've always given,
and now he was always
I didn't give, like now I have to receive it. And it was just like, it was weird to have your hand to receive.
Absolutely.
But then one thing I learned from his story that it's okay to be in that position. I remember I was the type that I would do everything for people. Like I can, you know me. I was driving everybody. Like call me, I'm doing all this stuff, and
never again.
And then nobody ever like. I never seek any reward from anybody. Because I do it from the goodness of my heart.
Absolutely. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, there was one time that I dropped one friend of mine off, and the father took our money. Already, people don't even give me gas money, right? So I don't even expect it. I put the bar so low.
Yeah.
It's
like, it's okay. Conversation is all I need.
He came out and he was giving me money. He's like, hey, take this. Yes. I looked down and I said, no. And I was like, why? But then that day, I remember the brook was dry.
That's what yo, take the money. I
didn't want the money. But the brook was dry, but then like it's not because I don't want it, it's just I've been so used to not being the one giving.
I told you though.
When it came for me to receive, I'm like, it just even feels weird.
I mean, that's why it's hard to really be shocked for like buying birthday presents for guys, because like simple dudes, like such as us, like it's because if you're always used to always being the one giving it out, always giving it out. When someone is trying to give you something, you're like, I don't even want anything. You don't even know what you want. You know what I mean? And I know what exactly you're talking about.
Yeah. So he's an apostle. He sat me down and then started talking to me about the art of receiving. Because we've always been talking about giving. And so I had to learn to receive. And he was like, if you don't learn how to even receive little things like this, you might go into your marriage, you might go into your work and other stuff, and you wouldn't even learn how to receive help. It hit me. It hit me big.
It has to really stretch more dudes, man.
I was like, ouch. Like, but then he was highly saying the truth, because it made me realize that I didn't know how to receive help. So even in school, if I'm suffering, I'm like, nah, I need to figure it out. Like, I don't know how to go to the SI leader and then be like, hey, I'm suffering, or go to the professor.
Yeah.
So it changed my thinking for the rest of my school year. And I appreciate that advice, because when I took it, it just took a lot of pressure off me.
It is pride. I think
I was also going to say
that's what he said. And he said that it's pride and your ego.
Man has pride.
I was also going to add that for you to be able to do that, you need to have humility. To be able to receive help, or to be able to take help from other people. And sometimes it's not easy, but it's very necessary.
I would say I think I mastered humility in sophomore year, man.
Sophomore year, big old head,
you broke me, man. Sophomore year brought me to my knees. Potatoes. Sophomore year, potatoes brought me to my knees. He told me that, dude, the man is not supposed to live like this. Put away that pride that you had by bread, man.
But you are living by bread alone.
I was living by bread and potatoes, man.
Yeah, potatoes.
Bro, humility, man. I learned humility in sophomore year and carried it forward. So I never even had that issue of pride. Like pride is something that a lot of men have, and you can't fault them by. Like, no one wants to be disrespected. No one wants to be seen as weak. No one wants to. No, and it's mostly, especially seen within men are the only genders that can't portray that weakness. Women can break down and cry, and people will come and have them. Yeah, a man cries and you don't even know how to react. You're like, you don't know if you come close to him. Exactly. Don't know if you come close to him. He's gonna smack you. So, you just like, let's just. And so it's like pride is definitely seen within us, and we are willing to die on a mountain of pride. And sophomore year said, nah, bro, you're not doing that. We are not doing this with you.
Something taught you something in life.
Yeah, bro. It said, we are not doing this with you, man. You're gonna have to let that thing go. So, pride. Pride is the reason.
It was. It's the pride and the ego not to
admit that you need help.
Yeah, admit that I need help.
We already discussed that. I think that we already answered that very next question, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, if you ask me why, it was just like, I personally, I don't think there was any big reason. It's just, I was so used to giving.
Yeah.
So in summary, men should ask for help.
What you said?
Yeah. So in summary, men should ask for help.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, ask for help from the right people.
I mean, of course. I don't think seeking help from any.
You can't seek help from. I think that's the big issue. I think that's the reason why men don't want to even say they need help, because you don't even know who you can trust. The person who's your friend today could be your enemy tomorrow.
Can I say something?
What's up?
That I don't think that mindset should be right. because I should be there. I mean, it's good to be very, very cautious and very mindful of the people that you surround yourself with.
Right.
But then again, too, there is a African proverb that says that if your stomach hurts and you don't show your teeth, then nobody's gonna know, right? And then I read a book that says that if a child wants to step up, he walks to the mother and then raise up their hand.
Right.
Yeah, then looking at the mom's face, like raise up their hand.
That's someone you trust.
I think it's not even about the child. I think it's just okay for some men to raise up their hands. Hey, I need help here. Because sometimes, let's be real, sometimes in the midst of it, you don't know who to turn to. You don't know who to turn to. But
and that's scary.
You have people talking, like you have people calling you, a lot of situations happening.
Yeah.
But it's like we don't know who to talk to. So it's okay to have, some like the right people that are around you.
Yeah.
It's okay to go to them and lift up, like show them your teeth.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you know this is the right person? Like I'm saying that a friend today could be an enemy tomorrow.
Yeah, sure. Anybody can.
That scares me. I'm like,
I understand why that would scare you, right? But then I also feel like we can't live our life like that because you can never control what other people are going to do. Yeah. And like people, the one person that you see you're not going to trust people, and then you're going to end up trusting someone. If that person that you end up trusting hurts you, it's going to even hurt even more because it's so hard for you to trust someone. So I feel like
we just approach that.
So I feel like we just have to give people a leash to do whatever they want, and like in a situation, if someone is going to help you, just receive the help in the moment, and like don't be too focused on what the person is going to do after. Like in the situation, let's say like right now, you need help in this situation. I feel like God puts people in your life to help you.
Right.
So if this person is in your life in this moment and that person can help you, I feel like you should just go ahead and receive the help instead of thinking like, man, what if I take help from this person and this person goes out there and starts talking about it?
In other words, someone can do something good for you, doesn't mean they are good for you.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that person is
a good person in general.
Yeah. But they can do something good for you.
We need to accept that whoever comes into our life is not perfect. I think sometimes we place so much expectation on and telling you keep it. That okay, so then that means you're bad for not keeping it.
Right.
But I think that personally, one thing I have learned to, I think it's because of years of working with a lot of people, is that I don't trust anybody, but I trust the God that gives me people. So when I have some interaction, you betray me. I don't know how, but it doesn't hurt because I'm like, you just can't. It's like I got what you wanted to get. You took my information, took it out there. I in that moment I received help. I'm good now. I'm good now. I'm moving on.
You just saw the summary.
You can go and be like, I helped him become a human being.
Right.
Or I became a millionaire whatsoever. I'm like, well, thank you. I still became a human being. But yeah, you can say all that you want to say. But I'm good. Like I'm good now. And when the next person comes in the midst of it and I need help, I'm going. But the thing is that I don't just spread it like that, But then like, okay, hey, I watch myself. People that I don't do people that talk. If you just best believe, if I know you're always trying to talk to me about other people, that's a red flag. I'm not gonna go you have a red flag. And then be like, this red flag is heart shaped. I'm gonna be honest with myself, and then hey, this is not something that I condone. But I think people that I know, hey, especially people that have been instrumental in my life, I'm like, yo, this is me. I there were times that I've called somebody and be like, yo, I feel depressed. And quite frankly, they were helpful. But then I just needed somebody to listen. But they listened. And their comment was, yo, if you're depressed, you know what I'm going to. But then like even still, I heard what I got what I wanted to get. And then they also told me like, well, go pray.
Right.
And it brought me back to I had to go on my knees and be like, God, I'm dying. I need help. Like I need somebody to help me. And
you you said something that was, like my problems are bigger than your problems. That kind of thing. Like when you bring up, you say, "Hey, I feel a little depressed right now." Someone's like, "You know what happened to me today? I got my leg decapitated. How you feel? Like all this and that." Right?
Some people are bad news.
So I know. So it's like I'm saying that like sometimes, right? Like just because you think your problems are small, that's not negate the fact that it's still a problem. An error in the system is still an error, no matter how small it is. Address
Call it the struggle Olympics.
Do you know what I was going through? That's actually more like an African thing, bro.
I'm hungry, bro. I haven't eaten the whole year.
I ate peanut and water. That's me. But it is. And going back on that thing about like, okay, with me, the trusting people and all this, like I always say that I will always trust people to be themselves. Like people like to be comfortable, like do the things that make them feel comfortable. I don't think anyone being uncomfortable is not something that a living creature is supposed to be. Yeah, it's like apparently, the kangaroos, right? When they're being chased by leopards, they will discard their babies as a distraction, diversion, away from the animal chasing them so that they can escape to make more babies.
So then they can catch the babies.
Yeah, so that the leopard will tag the babies. Because that's not. Hamsters will eat the little babies just so that like the others will survive. The idea of sacrifice is something that it's not really something that rings well with living creatures. And that's when I saw this, and I was like, I don't think I can be able to fully trust anyone. And so it takes. I mean, it's hard.
Sometimes I'm like,
as a guy, in a way, that's the mentality that I have.
And sometimes I'm like, you have to put yourself in some people's position sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And understand that if you're in that position, you'll probably do the same thing. Like sometimes that's how I think.
Now me,
when it comes to certain things, right? When it comes to certain things, let's say like you're talking about the survival mode type of thing, right?
Yeah.
If like someone's life is on the line, and then maybe they had to give you up to save their life.
Yeah.
Bro, like I understand that.
Nah,
bro,
I won't.
If somebody kill me or you, hey, you think I'm gonna say kill me?
Wow. Well, good to know. It's good to know that when things hit the fan, I want you to remember this that you said you let me take the bullet. So here you go.
One for the team, man.
Here he is.
I feel like innately, like just your
survival.
Your survival instincts is that like I'm trying to save myself.
That's why I say I have a hard time in trusting because I know that when push comes to shove, there's a chance that you're gonna sell me out.
But if that's the case, then like you're always gonna be by your lonesome self. Like you're never gonna trust nobody ever. Like
I trust God.
But then God doesn't good at those people and He works through those people.
Well, that's why I say I trust God that gives me people. That's people.
Yeah.
So I'm trusting God. I'm like, yep, I got this person. Yeah. Tomorrow, one thing that made me change was that, like that mindset of trusting people was that it's just one thing. I just don't like it when people enjoy some good time together, and when something happens and we go separate ways, they speak of the person that they once said that they cherish and love, like they are nothing.
Yeah.
I've had that so many times. People
that's one thing I can't do, bro.
Yeah, I sacrifice myself for, and maybe because we had a disagreement or whatsoever, we split ways. They look back and, oh, this guy is a terrible guy.
Yeah.
Like, no, I wasn't. Like, we just had a disagreement. We couldn't move past it. But then that's again, that's me.
That's tough. That's like I feel like that's just another level of like
that's what it is in generation. That's what it is. Like, I always say thanks be to God that I haven't been in a lot of relationships with ex, bro. But from what ex people with exes and all that they speak. When I have a friend that come and they speak really evil of I'm like, well, you know, one time you probably said you love me.
You love this
Like,
person,
yeah,
right?
but you know, I'm not gonna.
But love is blind. That's what they will say.
I'm not gonna.
I've heard that so many times. But yeah. I mean, okay, I hear what both of you are saying. It honestly makes sense to me. But I'm telling you, man, like as a man, this is what I've been. This is what has been working with me, man. And I'm learning to let down those. I'm learning to. I mean, sometimes I do agree with the two of you. Sometimes I do let you all know exactly what's going on in my mind. Something else here and there. So it's like it's a journey. And then
the last time you let me know what's going on, that's some scary stuff.
What did I do?
I know what you're trying to do. You told me some stuff that was going on in his mind. You remember when you're telling me about the things you be thinking about and the dreams you be having? Nah, bro.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, then. No, we're gonna wrap up soon.
Yeah, man, but I'm getting better. I mean, with my lady, you know, I gave her percentages when we started. I said I trust you 10% now. This was freshman year. So this is sick. When sophomore year, when I went to sophomore, it increased to 60.
10 to 60.
Yeah, something after sophomore year.
So where is that now?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Honestly, I'm saying that she's in the A area. She's fine. She'll be fine.
She's
getting there.
She's getting A minus by at least, you know. But yeah, A minus at least, you know. But so I mean, well, this is our show, man. I mean, do you all have any last?
Should men do therapy?
Do therapy, please. Do therapy.
Absolutely.
Do all you can. Seek help as a man. Seek help. It's okay.
The gender that has higher suicidal rates.
Exactly. That's
the man that has like homelessness, like you have to
undiagnosed depression.
Undiagnosed depression. You know, like you are not a god. We are not gods, right? And I don't even know if gods even have therapy. No, I'm like, what? No, he's telling me Jesus didn't go to therapy after all that? There were holes in his hands, man. Who does that? I came to say
he went to therapy.
No, it's okay. When we get to that, I'm just saying. Someone like that has to go to therapy. I'm saying. But like, yeah, you have to go to therapy to make sure that whatever monsters that are chasing, whatever demons that are keeping you awake at night, you need to be dealt with. When I say demons, I'm not talking about spiritual demons. I'm talking about alcoholism. I'm talking about, you know, all sorts of addictions that you may have that's going on. Find the source of it, because you'll be surprised to know that source is always from your childhood, because that's where everything comes from. So just find a way to deal with it and then grow and become a better person for your family and your friends. Like, wouldn't that be great?
That's right.
Yeah,
awesome. All I'm gonna say is that, like, if anything, man, we need therapy more than the women.
Yeah, not fair, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're gonna be the head of the family.
Yeah.
And if your head is not cool, how's your family supposed to be?
Yeah, your head needs to be cleared up.
Exactly. Your head needs to be cleared. You need to be in a solid. You need to have a solid foundation mentally. You need to be there for them, every single one, your family, your parents.
Yeah.
You need to be there for them. Your kids, you need to be there for them. And so you need therapy.
Yeah.
If it's therapy that you need, go.
You're not crazy if you seek it.
I mean, I've never had therapy, but I know at some point I'll get in there and see what's.
I'm good. I'm my own therapist. You have? How was that?
I have. It was a beautiful experience. And what was it? Quite frankly, it wasn't because I was going crazy. Which is a bad mindset.
Absolutely.
People have that they think that
you go to
therapy because you're crazy. You know? So personally, you know, I was living, you know, in Texas by myself, and then during that period, it was part of my insurance. So I said,
try it out.
Yeah, let me try it out.
Since you paid for it already.
I'm paying for it now, and I'm glad that I did, because then I was able to go there and have a conversation with somebody who was willing to, let's bring a solution to this. Not somebody that I feel like would judge me first before saying, let's bring a solution to it. Sure. But it was an experience that I enjoyed, and we cool now. Like, when I say we cool, my therapy period, the insurance period has ended,
but you're still
yeah, like once in a while I get a call from him, and then hey, I'm checking in and stuff, or I call like, how's it going, right? You know, and I think it developed into just being able to, so yeah, talk, and I think he one thing I got from that therapy was accountability. How important it is. So like it's important to have accountability, people that are keeping you accountable. Yeah. People, because I think I've shared this with this morning that in the Bible I read, the Bible says that the lazy man has food in his hand, in his hand, but would not even let it to his mouth. And I think a lot of men have this help around them. Because of all these things going on, we don't want to lift it to our mouth to take it. Because if you feel so tired and you feel so drained and you feel so lazy, and you have food there, the last thing you want to do is move again. You want somebody to put it in your mouth. But the truth is that it's okay to go out there and seek that, and then pick it up and put it in your mouth so you can gain strength again to do what you want to do. So I think that's, for me, that's what it was. It gave me perspective. And so it's something that I would encourage everybody, if you're watching us, I would encourage you.
Also, go to gym.
Wait, one question. So what if someone doesn't trust therapists, or the person is scared of being judged?
You have to have somebody that you trust.
There has to be an outlet.
Like you said, at least in the whole wide world, at least one person. Like at least one person. I don't if it's the one at cashier that you're saying.
Oh nah, don't do that. No,
I'm
saying that cashier.
I'm like, bro.
I'm supposed to scan this.
I'm saying that. No,
I'm supposed to get all that.
Bro, if you're completely stranger.
Nah, listen. Like there are some strangers who also taking time bombs, man. You don't even know what's going on.
Listen. Everybody in this life has something going on. Trust me, the therapist, my therapist, I heard some stuff that I'm like, woo! You need to seek a therapist. You need to switch. Man, we need to switch.
He needs a therapist.
But then, like, what it means for us is that, for me, is that we need each other. We need each other. We don't need people by yourself. I can't do it by myself. We need each other. It's okay. And I think one thing too that I want to also add is that it's okay if you're on the other side of it and people come to you. It's okay to welcome them, because this generation is becoming so self-centered that, hey, I already got stuff going on. You can't come add your stuff to me, you know. And there's an African proverb that says that if you don't push somebody to go past 9, you can't go to 10. So like it's like you want to get to 10th level, but somebody has to be occupying the 9th position. So what you can do is just help them to get to 9. So you can get to 10, you know. And I think it's okay to help somebody who needs help. You know, it's okay to grieve with people. It's okay to, and Christians don't like that. They like, God is
always joy.
Pray for you or whatever.
Yeah, it's always joy.
I'm praying for you.
One thing
I love that answer, bro. It works.
What I love about Bible is that Jesus Christ Himself cried, even when He knew He was about to perform a miracle. Right. He knew He was there to raise Lazarus up. And yet He cried with them.
So that he went to see a therapist. No, I'm not even lying to you.
For me, that's compassion. That's empathy. Like that's I have it. I feel your pain, and that's what it does for me. He was the one bringing the solution, and yes, He took time to grieve with you in that situation, to kind of work your emotions out with you in that situation. So it's okay for people to come to you and be helpful.
I would definitely say that, like, also as a man, be very close. I think you should, from speaking from my faith, I think you should be very close to God. I think the morality, the morals of God helps you to keep you. It gives you principles. A man who doesn't have principles is easily misled. You know, they say if you are not fighting for it, if you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. Right? You as long as you have good principles that align with God, in my opinion, I think that you'll be able to find the right people like you're talking about. Be able to know who to trust and be able to know how to talk and how to process and how to move. And that's how I feel. So that's my last advice on this stuff. This has been the African Wise podcast, and we hope you enjoyed it. We hope this really enlightened you in the life of a man. Yeah. And what are the things that we go through coming from men and a boy.
Hey, anyone is a boy here.
Bro, I told you, I shake. I wanted
Once they are going back and forth with that, I just want to say that let us know what you think. Comment in the section below. Yes, share with your friends. You can go on our Instagram page.
And if you're wrong and you think we're wrong, just let us know why you think we are wrong. Because you're human beings. You're not gonna delete your comments or anything like that.
We're here to have a conversation.
Have a conversation, and then it's important that conversations begin because those are the things that build a nation. This has been the African Wise Food Podcast. Bye, right? This has been the African Wise Food Podcast. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and what's the last S? Share, subscribe, and comment. This has been the African Wise Food Podcast, baby. Peace.